Okay, guys, we are going to talk about Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. Of course, they're under a microscope, a spotlight right now. Oh, man, anti-Israel. I can't even believe these people are in office. I truly can't believe it. I cannot believe the protests that are going on at universities right now, defending the actions of Hamas and everything, the repugnant destruction that's happening right now, the cruel things that are going on involving these terrorists. And we've got people in office like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib rushing to blame Israel for the hospital incident that happened. We found out that is Hamas that did that. And I guess they're not going to back off of it. And the craziest part about this, think about their rhetoric and their actions in the last week. And then think about the fact that Ilhan Omar believes that Jim Jordan would cause more chaos in the House and electoral harm. That this is what we're working with, folks. And we need a Speaker of the House. I like Jim Jordan a lot. I thought he should have been the guy last time when McCarthy got in. I've liked Jim Jordan for a long time, and it's crazy. In fact, before we even jump into that, let's just cover this a little bit. That them blaming Israel for the deadly hospital bombing. It's crazy. Just so you've got a real good frame of reference of what you're dealing with here. Far left squad members, Representatives Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib pointed the blame on Israel for Tuesday's bombing of the Gaza City hospital that left hundreds dead, demanding President Biden call for an immediate ceasefire. I saw that a minute ago. Come on. Quote, bombing a hospital is among the gravest of war crimes. The IDF reportedly blowing up one of the few places the injured and wounded can seek medical treatment and shelter is horrific. That was Omar that tweeted that out. At POTUS needs to push for an immediate ceasefire to end this slaughter. Tlaib also fingered the Israel Defense Force as the culprit behind the explosion at the Arab hospital that Gaza officials said more than 500 people were dead at, but took Omar's sentiment one step further. Tlaib accused the 80-year-old commander-in-chief of playing a role in the carnage by stepping in to quell the conflict between Israel and Hamas after the terrorist group launched a surprise October 7th attack, killing more than 1,300 people in Israel. Israel just bombed the Baptist hospital, killing 500 Palestinians, doctors, children, patients. Just like that, Tlaib, the first Palestinian-American elected to Congress, said in a statement, at POTUS, this is what happens when you refuse to facilitate a ceasefire and help de-escalate. Your war and destruction-only approach has opened my eyes, and many Palestinian Americans and Muslims Americans like me, we need to remember where you stood. Imagine that. Imagine that. So that's what you're working with. That was their statements. It's baffling that these two are in office. It's scary is what it is. I mean, look, we've been infiltrated, all right? Infiltrated. And at the same time, we're trying to get a Speaker of the House in there that might actually help quell or stop or do something to help close our borders, not to mention helping Israel. And these two, do you know how many people they've popped coming in across the border? There's a war going on, and our borders are wide open. Terrorists can be coming in this country right now, and Omar believes that Jim Jordan is going to cause more chaos. Wow. I mean, it's pretty frightening that this is what we're dealing with, but here we are, folks. This feels traitorous to me, if I'm just being real. They both feel like traitors to the United States of America, and certainly to their positions, in my opinion. I mean, that's dangerous rhetoric. Democratic Rep. Ilhan Omar of Minnesota highlighted an old quote in which former House Speaker John Boehner had described Representative Jim Jordan of Omaha as a legislative terrorist. John, you used John Boehner for your example? Really? What a joke he was. Stop it. Quote, Jordan was a terrorist as a legislator going back to his days in the Ohioan Senate, Boehner said, according to years-old Politico magazine piece, a terrorist, a legislative terrorist. Omar calling anybody else a terrorist? Woo-wee. That's a little pot calling the kettle blackish, is it not? Wow. You're literally supporting terrorists, Omar. Man, I mean, the reactions from those two have been frightening. And the idea that they have talked about that they will still get reelected by their constituents when it comes back around for them to be up again is unimaginable to me. That there's people that would elect these two in the office to begin with. We knew they were radical. But after their actions the last week, guys, if something myself and my wife have talked about is that if we had September 11th today, we would have people in this country that would be on the sides of the terrorist. That was unthinkable when September 11th happened. It was unimaginable back when that happened. Here we are today. Brainwashing, radicals. Omar shared Boehner's quote and then opined, it should be interesting how things go after the Republicans elect Jordan Speaker tomorrow. It would certainly bring more chaos in the House and electoral harm. Okay. Last week, the House GOP voted 121-81 to nominate Jordan for the speakership, but in order to clinch the role in a full House vote, Jordan will need much more GOP support. In 15 rounds of balloting, Representative Rhino Kevin McCarthy won the speakership earlier this year. He was ousted from the House Speaker earlier this month. So far, Republicans have failed to fill the slot. Don't worry, we won't forget at all. At all. This is the 20 Republicans that voted against Jim Jordan. Yeah. Failed to win the speakership during a House vote on Tuesday as 20 Republicans opposed his bid, preventing him from reaching the threshold necessary to secure the vote. The outcome means House members will need to vote again, which they're supposed to do today. And check this out. Yeah. Right there. Got some people from Texas. Kay Granger. Tony Gonzalez from Texas. Steve Womack, Arkansas. You know, I mean, I guess I could see some of these in Pennsylvania or New York. They're going to be moderate rhinos anyway. But Arkansas, Texas, really? I mean, you might as well just figure your political career here in Texas is a wrap. I mean, it's a wrap. Democratic, yeah. I mean, that's touching on the same thing we just covered in that article. But, guys, we are in strange times. We are in strange and dangerous times. The people that's in office, yet they can look at somebody like Jim Jordan and think he's harmful? You think he's harmful? Wow. It's a crazy thought process. It's a radical thought process. It's a dangerous thought process is what it is. And I don't know how we come out of this. I will say this, though. I even think some Democrats now have been woken up a little bit by who's supporting what and where right now. Do you think that Jewish American Democrats are not giving the fuzzy eyeball to their own party right now? And that's why Kathy Hochul is on her way right now to Israel to try to talk up New York because New York's got a massive Jewish population, and the New York streets are flooded by people supporting Hamas. Wow. I mean, you want to talk about keeping a fuzzy eyeball on your neighbor if you live in some of these places at this point. Yikes. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.